Hello, my name is Jason Ballou. I'm a student at Western Governors University. This is my Task 2 presentation for Introduction to Communications titled False Information Thrives Across Social Media. Make up just the right story, the more outrageous the better, post it on a social media network, and then watch it make its way around the world in a matter of hours. This viral outbreak of misinformation or disinformation that we now call fake news can include anything from outright lies, satirical news, and conspiracy theories to unsubstantiated rumors and speculation. It is becoming more prevalent today and more effective at causing real disruption throughout society at critical times around major issues and current events. Research suggests that false information spreads faster and farther than the truth across social media because of the sheer scope and nature of social media networks and the perceived anonymity they afford to the purveyors of such information. I am going to focus on a couple of main points. First, social media's vast size and nature make it an ideal platform from which to spread fake news. Second, the people who create and spread fake news can easily mask their identity or otherwise remain anonymous when using social media. Social media is massive. According to a report published by We Are Social in January 2018 titled Digital in 2018, World's Internet Users Passed the 4 billion mark, over 3.1 billion people, or 42% of the global population, use social media. You'll see this in the middle of the graphic under active social media users. This brings people from all over the world and from virtually every demographic together and gives each of them an opportunity to say and do basically anything they want. No other form of media affords so many people this much freedom of expression and access to so much information. Social media networks are a vast form of communication that create and foster communities of individuals and encourage them to share information, thoughts, ideas, and other personal messages and content. Communities are a core component of social media and are at the center of its very nature. Communities form around like-minded people around things they have in common. They essentially become co-cultures. Members become more comfortable in sharing their own information and in believing the news and information that other members are sharing. Therefore, the information that the community sees is exactly the kind of information the community wants to see. Because it is so vast and groups people into these communities or co-cultures, social media has become the perfect platform for spreading fake news. A report published in Science magazine in March 2018 titled The Spread of True and False News Online investigated the spread of verified true and false news stories that were distributed on Twitter between 2006 and 2017. Their data comprises around 126,000 stories that were tweeted by around 3 million people more than 4.5 million times. Their study shows that false information was spread up to 100 times faster and farther than the truth. Chart B shows that true news rarely reached more than 1,000 people, but the top 1% of false news routinely reached between 1,000 and 100,000 people. More people shared the false news than true news, and false news reached 1,500 people 6 times faster than the true news. Further helping to fuel the spread of false information is the sense of anonymity that people feel when using social media. It is nearly impossible for the average person to truly know who they are interacting with. People often take on a different persona, try to mask their identity, or otherwise try to remain anonymous when they use social media. They speak more freely over social media and become more expressive of their true thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. It is equally as hard for the companies that build and maintain social media networks to thoroughly vet their users. Creating a social media account is simple and only requires an email address. Anyone can create an account, develop a profile, and can fit themselves into a social media community or co-culture. But are they even human? Distill Networks published a report in 2018 titled 2018 Bad Bot Report, the year bad bots went mainstream. It shows that 21.8% of all internet traffic was generated by malicious bots. That was an increase of 9.5% over 2016. Social bots are software-based, non-human accounts that emulate human behavior by interacting with the human members of the communities in which they exist. They respond to other members, initiate and fuel controversy, and feed their community whatever kind of information they are programmed to share. They embed themselves into communities that align most closely with their intended messaging because that gives them the greatest chance at reaching the most people. Within these communities and co-cultures, they know that they have a broad audience with an appetite for news and information relative to their interests. These malicious accounts prey on their fellow community members, exploiting their passions, their interests, and their sometimes gullible nature. In summary, false information spreads faster and farther than the truth across social media because of the sheer scope and nature of social media networks and the perceived anonymity they afford to the purveyors of such information. Its vast size and nature make social media an ideal platform from which to spread false information. Fueling the spread of that false information is the anonymity that social media affords to those that create and share it. People across social media networks have become more comfortable within this virtual world. They often disregard their natural instincts when they become more trusting of the information that they receive without verifying its authenticity and legitimacy. After all, if it came from the internet, it must be true, right? Thank you.